Hello and welcome back to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Hi, how are you? We're going to do some more cooking today. Nothing too complicated, but I hope you'll enjoy it. The last video on the tuna and Niçoise salad went over well, and I actually gained a new subscriber from that video. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All right, and as I appreciate all my subscribers and so forth. So here we are at the height of summer. This was this morning's haul or harvest of beans. Produce is coming in fast and furious now, and if you have a garden, you probably know what to do with it. But, you know, if you go to Costco or Aldi or something and get a big fat bag of green beans at a good price. Have you seen the price of green beans in the store? My goodness. Excuse me. So these are nice big fat ones. But of course, you know, if you have a garden, you can pick them anytime you want. And usually they're a bit smaller in the store. Let's see. Yeah, they're more like this. Keep forgetting where my camera is. So yeah, they're more like this usually. And you know, there's the French style and blah 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 blah. Anyways, and you can, you know, green beans, yellow beans, speckled beans, it's all the same as far as cooking them is concerned. So what I did was I picked these this morning, and I cut off the stem ends. And you can do that either with a kitchen knife, or you can use a pair of scissors. It's up to you. I usually grab them a bunch like this, line them all up, and with the scissors, or you can put them down on the counter or on your board and cut them like that. So going to do two things today, and I think it's probably going to be in two parts, but we'll see. The first thing we're going to do is blanch the beans. Now, like I said, you know, if you go to Costco or whatever, you get that big honking bag of green beans and everything that, you know, it's easy to do this and then freeze some of them. And if you do it right, you're going to get beautiful, tender, delicious green beans when you take them out of the freezer. Okay, so what I did here was a couple little things here. This is actually a microwave cover thing, but it has the holes, so it doubles as a colander. And I also take it out to the garden to put the stuff in when I harvest it. And I'm not going to turn this burner on, so I'm not going to melt this, I promise. I wanted to just show this off a little bit. And, okay, now guys, this is the little beaver. Okay, no jokes. This is the little beaver. It's from Starfrit, and you put it on the can, close the arms, you turn. You've probably seen these. Anyways, this was like 14 bucks, and it works like a charm on most things. So, okay, so I prepped these ahead of time, and after my beautiful wife Esther went out this morning, and it was her turn to harvest this morning. She wanted to do it, so okay. I don't mind. That's fine with me. So she harvested some of these beautiful beans, and when they get like this, you see how they're bulging. Yeah, they're a little past their best, but of course they're still edible and everything. But, you know, even though I've been harvesting them every day, it's still hard to keep up with them. So, anyways, so what I did was, of course, once I brought them in, once they came in from the garden, I rinsed them really well, and put them in a pot with water and salt, and stuck them in the fridge. That helps to perk them up a bit, and it keeps the color, and it also helps with the cooking process. It does, I believe, help to soften the beans a little bit, but, you know, whatever. Okay, So there's that, and there we go. Okay, so our water's starting to boil, and one of the great things about this is, you know, if you're going to use your beans for supper time or whatever, you can do this earlier in the day when it's not as warm, and then you can just plunk them in there. So we need three, besides the beans, we need two other things. We need a pot of water, lots of water. Can you see that? This is about a half full, and you want to bring it to a boil. I talked a little bit about last time about salt, and I left out a couple of things. For something like this, it's best to add the salt once the water is boiling. That's usually done with pasta as well. Salted water boils hotter, so that reduces the cooking time. Things cook faster. Also, if you put it in at the beginning, a lot of it might, you know, it's going to evaporate up and go away. So, and the third thing we'll need is what's called an ice water bath. Now, this isn't ice water. This is a bowl of water that I put in the freezer because we don't use ice very much. And, you know, if you have a big enough freezer and you want to, you know, you can keep ice in there. Okay, so this is just super cold water. The colder the better. You can put it in the freezer ahead of time, or, you know, if it's a case of, if you do want to put ice, you know, you put ice in and then you put water in, and, you know, it's about a half, whatever. Okay, so here we go. We're boiling away here. Lid comes off. And don't be shy about the salt. Okay? You don't need to worry about it here. We're not fully cooking the beans. And we're blanching with water here. You can also blanch with oil. The most common thing blanched with oil is French fries. Restaurant fries, usually what they do is they cook them in oil over lower heat, which cooks the French fries, and then they pull them out, and when they drop them into the hotter oil, all you need to do is just brown and crisp up. Otherwise, you often get overdone outside and underdone inside. And I wanted to show too about, you know, these beans have strings. You can get stringless ones. If I don't care, but if you do want to pull it, what you do is you just tear off the little stem part here, and you gently pull this off, and then that'll get rid of your little stringy thing. I don't usually bother. This ain't no French restaurant, if you hadn't figured that out. Okay, so in we go. And you're going to want these to boil for about 4 minutes. Excuse me. The way you'll know when they're done is they're going to turn bright green, and we can already see that happening. And you're also they're gonna smell really. You know, you're gonna start to smell the beans, and so once you start to smell the beans, it's usually only a minute or two after that. So this is boiling good. Get rid of this. Turn this down a bit. Give it a stir. And And also you'll be able to feel when the beans start to soften. And that's really all you want. You want them just to start to soften. And here's what happens if they're too big. They split. And then you end up with little beans floating around. But that's okay. I like any kind of beans. Any kind of beans. I'm full of beans, as my mama used to say. Okay, so here we go. And I also mentioned about salt is you usually want to use regular table salt. Kosher salt is great for many things, but it really doesn't dissolve very well. So you can use pickling salt, which is designed to dissolve, but you know, regular table salt's good enough. Okay, now these are looking just about ready. And I think we're going to manage to do it in one video here. So where are we at time-wise? Yeah, we're just into about 11 minutes here. So okay. And what blanching does is it partially cooks whatever you're blanching and locks in both flavor and nutrition. Not to mention the color. So we're in good shape here. You see how these have turned bright green? Can you see that? See that beautiful color there? I don't want to drip all over the computer. They're just beautiful. Nothing worse than gray green beans. They're called green beans for a reason. Okay, and so these are starting to soften up. And we should be good to go in about another minute. Oh, this is a handy thing too. And my wife ordered this from somewhere. Nice spoon holder. Before that, I would just use a regular plate, little plate like that. But anyways, this is a handy little thing. So that's a nice little kitchen gadget. Okay, and so, yeah, starting to smell. There we go. There's our 4 minutes right there. Okay, so here we go. Going to get our ice water. And we're going to just plunge that right in there. And this is called shocking. Taking from the very hot water and putting it into very cold water. And again, this does two things. It stops the beans from cooking anymore. And also locks in the color as well. So we're all set there. Set this aside. I'm going to pause for a minute here while I do some other. Okay, so we got our trusty wok here. If you don't have a wok, you can use a regular frying pan. And this is about as simple a recipe as you're going to get. Okay, well, just some olive oil, whatever quantity of green beans you like. You have to blanch them either way. Some soy sauce. This is not this soy sauce. We just bought this container, and I use a soy sauce for most things called Silver Swan. It's a Filipino soy sauce, and it's the best all-around soy sauce I've found. Kikkoman is great if you're, you know, well, anyways, yeah, if you like Kikkoman, have Kikkoman. That's fabulous. But, you know, if you don't, then don't. So, okay, so we've got our wok here, and we can tell it's ready because It's smoking. Okay, so here's what we do. Now, normally, what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of olive oil in, and you want to mince some garlic very fine. Very, very fine. Don't use the stuff in the jar you get at the store. It has no flavor. It's useless. Okay? It only takes a minute or two, and what you can do is you take a garlic clove, put it down on your board, smash it with the side of your knife, smash it down, sprinkle a tiny little bit of salt on it, and then just with the knife like this. And that'll grind it up real good. But really, it's best to just cut this up into fairly large pieces, chunks almost. But we don't have that. I don't. When we buy garlic, usually half of it goes bad before we finish it up. So there's a couple things you can do. I always have this. It says garlic powder, but it's a mix of garlic and onion powder. There we go. And it works great for all sorts of things in a pinch. Now, the other thing you can get is this. And these are pre-fried garlic chips. So they're already fully cooked. They do have salt, and but they're full of garlic flavor. And since they're already fried, you don't need to worry about burning them, because if you've ever had burnt garlic, that's no fun at all. All right, so here we go. And as always with garlic, it's, whatever. If you like a lot of garlic, you can have a lot of garlic. If you don't like that much garlic, you don't have to have that much garlic. But it's very strong. So, but we got a lot of beans here. And so I'm just smushing this up here. It goes there. Okay. Water's hot, or the pot's hot. And we're going to go 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. And you'll see the oil start to bubble. And you want to be careful here, because these are still wet a little bit. Here we go. You can flip them or stir them, whatever you want to do. Okay, and the crackling will all go away once the water is all boiled off. And so you want to keep stirring these. This is, it's a bean stir fry basically. I used to be a lot better at this. There we go. There, that's better. It looks fancy, but it's really actually better to stir. And again, you'll see the bright green color come up. In goes the garlic. And if you are going to use fresh garlic, what I suggest you do is you chop your garlic and saute it separately and then take it out of the pan. Because again, if you do it first and then you put the the beans in, by the time the beans are cooked, it'll get burnt and it won't taste good. So, but once the garlic goes in, you should be nearly done. Just a minute or two left. A little bit of soy sauce. And you'll start to feel how the beans get going to soften. There we go. And so we'll just if you like your beans smushier, fine. I like mine to have a good little bit of bite left. And like I said before, they say it's not good for you, but I eat them right out of the garden. There you go. So, yeah, garlic chips. Local Asian store. You'll be able to find them, and they last forever. As long as you keep them dry. Okay, so here we go. Get a dish here. Is this a better camera angle? I think so, eh? That last video, it was pathetic camera angle. I got it going better here this time. So yeah, I mean, I usually don't put my pots right into the sink with the water. I let them cool off first, usually. Okay, and so there you go. I mean, you probably pay $10 for this at least in your local Chinese food restaurant, and of course you can add other things, but it's great just like this. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, it's hot. Just a bit of soy sauce to bring out the flavor, not too much. You have beautiful bright green beans, a little bit of garlic, just the right amount of saltiness, and the green bean flavor comes through. So there you go. Quick and easy, economical. I'll show you something else too. You can use this to cover food, or you can use this. Boom. And Filipinos mostly eat their food at room temperature. Being in such a hot and humid country, very often the cooking is traditionally done early in the morning, and then it's set aside and covered with the tents to keep it till later. All right, so that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. A very simple recipe. I'll be back in a couple of days. I'm going to make a Filipino specialty. There's the teaser. I'm not going to tell you what. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll try the recipe. Just if you use, again, I can't emphasize enough, if you're using fresh garlic, keep your heat low, and be very, very careful not to burn it, because it'll just burn like that. So that's the best advice I can give you. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and can you see me now? There we go. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate everyone's time. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I hope you enjoy some delicious stir-fried green beans tonight. Bye now.